Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and now that my two informative videos are done for the day, and they included training footage, I put up a full leg and glute accessory workout for Brittany, and a full bench press workout for me up today. Now it's time to talk about current events in the online fitness community. So let me put on my +5 hat of weaponsmithing, work on skilling up my crafting a little bit, and let's talk about my nemesis, the good Dr. Layne Norton, who, made himself my nemesis. We're not going to rehash the history. Everyone knows he and I have a long history, including legal battles and everything else. And it's crazy because we also share the same birthday, 5 years apart with the exact same birthday. You can't make this stuff up. You can't make it up. I was shocked. Like, I found out from Matt Ogus originally. Ogus was like, for real, dude, you guys both have the same birthday. It came through my Facebook feed because I'm friends with both of you on Facebook on your private profiles. Years ago, yeah, and it turned out it was true. I'm like, oh my God, can't make that up. But at a certain point, I'm going to sit here and I'm not even going to gloat in this video. Let's not even do that. Is there even a need anymore? I'm actually more of in shock at this point that the guy just keeps beating his body up and destroying himself. It's shocking. It's no longer even oh man, someone who's done me wrong and my enemy and everything is doing this to himself. At a certain point, I'm stepping back going, dude, I mean, I know you're kind of my arch nemesis and everything, like shares a birthday with me, but you might want to quit at a certain point before you put yourself in a wheelchair. It's like, dude, seriously, you need to check your ego at the door. And I'm saying this as someone who really, it's in my best interest. Honestly, it's in my best interest if the guy hurts himself financially, socially, everything else. I only stand to benefit from him doing it. And at a certain point, even I'm stepping back going, dude, I really don't like you, but I don't want to see you in a wheelchair, okay? I don't want to see you in a wheelchair. I don't dislike you enough to watch you hurt yourself. You've already hurt yourself repeatedly when I said to quit. I've already been proven right. You don't need to put yourself in the wheelchair just to prove me right. This isn't necessary. We don't need to go that far. This rivalry doesn't need to go that far to where people are physically harmed, okay? And even if it's self-inflicted, I don't want to see the dude do that, but he seems hell-bent on doing so. And it's no matter what anyone tells him, he doesn't care, and I'm almost going, bro, I mean, I don't like you, but like, don't put yourself in a wheelchair trying to prove me wrong. It's not necessary, man. It's not necessary. And here's the situation. He pulled his back. I made a video on it last week, over a week ago. He hurt his back getting ready for Nationals. I think Nationals are, on the 10th? This is the 2nd? They're less than a week. It's like 8 days away. He's going to compete in Nationals. Well, he started continuing to do his prep. Now, let's talk about this for a minute. This is a guy who even his fans, people who love him, even people who love him are going, bro, maybe your squat form and your programming is part of the problem. And even other coaches have come in and said, look, his squat's part of the problem. That's part of it. But his overall programming is part of it because he hasn't just hurt his back. If it had only been hurting his back a couple times, we could blame it on his squat. But he's injured his hips. He's torn a pec. And he keeps doing this, they said I was done thing. And it's like even people now are saying, what are you talking about Blaha at this point? And that he said you were done? I didn't even say he's done. I've said, dude, you need to quit hurting yourself. You need to step back and actually acknowledge that you don't know as much as you think you do. None of us do. None of us. Me, you, anyone else. All right? We all have room to learn. Every single one of us can still be wrong. We can be wrong. I'm wrong sometimes. I've had to admit I'm wrong. I've had to eat crow a few times and say, you know what, guys, I was wrong. Here's the new information. I didn't have this right. Let's go forward with it. Let's forget the fact that I was wrong in the past and let's move forward with the new stuff. Because at least I can admit, hey, I was wrong. Sorry about that. Let's move forward with better information, better data so we can all grow and learn from it. All right? He can't seem to do that. He just can't admit that his training programming isn't good. A lot of people have been hurt using his training programming, trying to replicate what he does. They get hurt. And again, it's not the fact that the amount of weight he lifts. People say, well, anyone lifting that much weight? There are people who lift more weight than he does who don't get hurt. All right? There are people in powerlifting who lift more weight than he does on all 3 lifts, who haven't had the injuries that he's had. It's not just the weight he's using, it's the way he's programming. And yes, you can get strong. If you push yourself all the time, you use some undulating periodization and everything to control it, yes, you can train high frequency, high volume, high intensity. You can push and push and push and push. You will get strong. You will get strong. But you will also get hurt. How many times do we have to watch it? You know, and here's the thing. He's not a spring chicken anymore. This is stuff I've learned. I've learned this myself. I'm 40 years old now. Okay, he's like, what, 36? You don't bounce back from these injuries anymore. You don't bounce back from these injuries. Now, he's strained his lower back. He's going to go ahead and do the meet. Now, keep in mind, he's strained his lower back less than 3 weeks out. You need to understand the way he trains and the way he does his lifts. Your lower back injuries don't just heal in a week. All right, and pull might feel like it's better, but if you have a major pull, what does that mean? Everyone understands this. You'll have some tearing of the muscle. There is definitely going to be some micro tears. Tearing isn't good. Contrary to popular belief, people say, oh, you need micro. No, you don't. You might need cleaving of the proteins a bit. Break down the tissue proteins. You don't need actual physical tears in the muscle. When you pull a muscle, that is a tear. It's just not major tears, which means he's got some tears through his erectors, surrounding his lumbar. Those will not have healed unless he did a bunch of drugs to heal them. Those will not be healed by the time he goes to nationals. The problem is his ego and pride is not going to let him say, yeah, Blaha was right. I decided not to do this meet because, you know, Blaha was right. He'll never admit I'm right about anything. Ever. Ever. Never happened. No matter how, even if I were to quote him directly, he'd say I was wrong. I misquoted him. Because he actually does have some good nutrition stuff. I'm not going to lie, Layne is actually really smart when it comes to nutrition. That's his forte. That's what his degree is in. That's what his experience is in. He's actually pretty smart on that stuff. He's actually worth listening to when it comes to nutrition. Training, programming, no, not so. Injury prevention, not so much. He's a moron when it comes to that stuff. And that's just the reality of it. Brilliant with nutrition, sometimes. Moron when it comes to training, programming, and injury prevention. Complete moron. Shouldn't be listened to. Understand the difference. A person can be intelligent in one area and really dumb in another. And it's his ego that gets in the way of the other. All right. Those tears will not have completely healed. He's going to go hit max squats. And because he's going to do a meet and he's going to go all out, this is nationals. He knows he's competing against some guys that might be better than him in his weight class. He's going to go all out. He's at 3rd attempt on the squat. If it doesn't injure him again, it's going to re-aggravate all those tears. Going to re-aggravate those tears. If he does not get hurt on his 3rd attempt on the squat, he will re-enlarge all those tears through the muscles. It will happen because of the squat technique he uses is horrifically bad. All right, he good mornings up the weight even when he does maxes in comp. All right, this is going to re-aggravate that area. Then he's going to get on the bench and he's going to arch. And that's going to kind of cramp that area up again all through the benching. Then he's going to go to deadlift. You guys see where this is going? Kind of get an idea of what's going to happen. And I'm not saying it's guaranteed that we're going to see Snap City. There's no guarantee he's going to be Snap City. So I don't want people to say, Jason, you've guaranteed it. No, there are things that I predict that I say will happen and have. I'm not saying this is going to happen. I'm saying it's a possibility. It's a very real possibility. And if it's not a possibility that he is considered at this point, then he is actually a lot dumber than I realized. If he hasn't considered in his mind, you know, I had this back pull, it's a possibility either on my 3rd attempt on my squat or when I get to my deadlifts that I'm really going to hurt my back, that I'm really going to hurt it bad. I'm willing to accept that risk. Now, if he's willing to accept that risk, okay, fine. But if he's saying there's no way it's going to happen, or there's not a decent chance it's going to happen, because it is a decent chance. 1 in 3, maybe. 30, 40%, who knows? Somewhere in that range. It could be 50-50. There's a very real, distinct possibility he's going to aggravate that injury severely to the point to where it could be turned into a major injury come meet time. When he throws that competitive switch, because this is a guy, his ego will get the best of him. Because he is competitive. He does have the mindset of a competitor who wants to win. Problem is he doesn't have that off switch that a lot of the best champions have, to where they know when to back off so they don't get hurt, so they can come back better. He doesn't have that, because he isn't better. And people could say, what do you mean? He hasn't come back strong. He hasn't come back stronger. He is not, after his injuries, returned to his best ever. And now he's trying to do so as he's getting older. We don't bounce back the same way. Once you get past about your early 30s, you don't bounce back the same from injuries anymore. You have to be more careful. I'm not saying you can't make progress. I'm not saying you can't be strong, but you can't be reckless like he's being. And he's about to find out the reality of reaching older age. See, I have done powerlifting meets past my mid-30s. I did powerlifting at 37. I went to a national and international level meet at 37. All right, you don't bounce back the same. I'm going to be honest. When I did my last meet at 37, my body felt like a truck hit me for the next week. Because that's what happens when you're 37 and you do a powerlifting meet. That's what happens. You feel like you got hit by a truck. Your whole body hurts. And it doesn't just, oh man, 2 days later I'm good. No, it took a week before I quit hurting. All right, he's about to learn the reality of this. Trying to bounce back from injuries and do this, cold hard reality, brother. So we're going to watch and see. I'm not going to predict this one, because a lot of times when I predict stuff, I know it's going to happen. I don't know that it's going to happen in this case. It's a real possibility. Real possibility. I'd be watching for it. If he goes 100% at this meet and he doesn't leave something in reserve and he goes all out, I wouldn't rule out a major back injury happening. And it could be career ending. And if it is, and he ends up really hurting himself, that'll be the end of his following. And his own arrogance will have done it. No one had to do anything to him to cause it. His own arrogance. And that's it. Alright guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative. And I will talk to you guys next time.